How's it going, everybody? Nathaniel from RCInsight here, and today I am making a video that really none of you signed up for when you subscribe to this channel. I didn't sign up for this when I started this channel, and so I appreciate you guys being here through this with me. This is a really tough topic to tackle. But I really felt compelled to talk about this as kind of my viewers and my subscribers and that stuff is going up. I wanted to maybe be able to do something that could make an impact. There's unfortunately way too many more people going through this than I would like to think, especially with the pandemic. The amount of people who are dealing with situations like these is just far too high. And so with that in mind, I wanted to do something where maybe I could make a difference, or even just make people feel less alone. So for those of you who don't already know where this is going, exactly 3 months ago today, my younger brother, 15 years old, committed suicide. I'm not going to get into any graphic details. I'm just going to say that he took his own life, and none of us knew it was coming. We were blindsided. None of us even knew that he had mental health issues. I had mental health issues. We never knew he had mental health issues. Everyone was at home. It was just totally out of the blue, out of nowhere. And there's a lot of people, unfortunately, who are having to deal with something like this. And so I'm just going to try and document myself and my feelings as I'm going through this. Today's 3 months. I'll probably do another video at 6 months, 9 months, a year, to talk about many things, to talk about how I'm feeling, what you might be feeling if you are going through this, for those of you who maybe are going through this, to know that there's someone else who's feeling the same way, or that it's okay to be feeling the way you are. All those things, all those tough questions, I'm just going to try and talk and tackle them in this video. So very different, but I'm hoping that in somehow, some way, it can reach some people and make a difference. I'm going to be leaving links in the description to suicide hotlines, kids help phone, places you can make donations to help support people who are struggling with mental health issues, to help support people who could be on the verge of doing something that they don't understand the consequences of. There's a lot of people who struggle with these things, but it's a real problem, and I think everybody knows someone who has committed suicide or who has been suicidal, and those who don't know someone probably actually do, and they just don't realize, because one of the things that has happened through this is I've come to realize just how many people that I knew had lost loved ones to suicide, or lost children, brothers, siblings that I didn't know about before this, and they didn't say anything before this. And so there is this hurt and pain that is all around you, and you don't see it until something like this happens to you, oftentimes. As I said, it's 3 months today. Today's a Sunday. It was a Saturday, but it was the 24th of October. So it's right in that time period. And, you would think that it would be really hitting me at this point, but it's not. At 3 months, people have already kind of started to fade into the side. There's not the constant stream of support, and frankly, it's 3 months, it doesn't even feel real yet. I haven't even fully reconciled what it means that my brother is gone. Like, the grieving process is so early at 3 months. So if you, for some reason, think that you should be over it at 3 months, man, it hasn't even began yet, and I know that. Like, I know I have not cried enough yet at 3 months. Like, it has not sunk in As he's been gone for weeks, even months before, on trips, whatever. There's been times where he's not been around. And it's weird being at home in an empty house, walking past an empty bedroom. Those things are really tough. But the day-to-day hasn't changed so much yet. Because you're doing all these things to try and make everything as normal as possible, when nothing's normal, especially with COVID and pandemic, nothing's normal. And it's weird being in lockdown and there's only 3 people at home, right? There's stuff that's weird, it's off, it's wrong. But it just hasn't fully entered my brain yet what's actually happened here. There's not, the ramifications of all this haven't really sunk in yet. And I think that's very normal at 3 months to not really realize what's gone on and what's happened yet. It's hard, but it's still weird to think about when I say my brother's dead. It's like, what? No, that's not right. That hasn't really processed at 3 months. I know he's gone. I know he's not coming back. But it still doesn't seem right yet. And I don't know how long it's going to take for that. The process of being sad about the fact that I've lost my brother hasn't really even kicked in yet. There's days where it's like, it just hits you. But most mornings I wake up and I forget that it's even happened. And then boom, oh my gosh, Michael's gone. And it hits you like a brick wall. Yeah. That's just how it is. And there's days that are good and there's days that are bad. And at 3 months, you cannot be sitting there expecting the world of yourself. You have to do little things to try and keep your life as normal as possible. I'm doing a little bit of school. I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing these things. I'm building Lego to keep me busy and to keep myself motivated and feel like I'm accomplished so I'm not just sitting in bed. But you also have to be careful that you don't do too much and just everything's a distraction. It's hard. You need to find space to grieve, space to stay motivated, space to keep busy. And it's all really challenging. So, I didn't really want to have a plan for this video. I just kind of wanted to talk because I thought that made it more authentic. It's hard to just talk about these things. And I really hope that other people out there aren't having to go through this, but I know that there are people who do. And so, surviving someone who has committed suicide is difficult, and you have to look after your own mental health as well. I know that I've really struggled in the last 3 months going through the funeral process. I mean, an 18-year-old should never have to help plan a funeral for the younger brother. It's just horrible. But going through that process as a teenager, specifically for those of you who are teenagers who are struggling with this, it just really put into perspective the impact of an action like taking your own life. And I know that when you are in that dark moment, you're not thinking straight. You don't realize what you're doing. But for me, going through his funeral has probably saved my own life in the last few months. Because you sit there and say, I can't do that to other people. Before it's like, oh, no one will miss me. And then you see it happen to someone you know and love, and you realize just how far that reverberates. And how you can't do that to other people. And so my hope and my plea to those of you who have gone through this and are struggling with your own mental health in the wake of it like I am, that you will see that impact and that will, help drive you to not put that on other people, to be strong. And being strong does not mean that you have to put a smile on and act normal. That's not being strong. Being strong is crying. Being strong is pushing through to the end of the day when you don't want to, even if that means that you just got up to have a shower and went back to bed. That is being strong. Being strong is not putting up a wall to act like everything's okay, and I think more people need to recognize that. It's okay to not be okay. Being not okay is being strong. Allowing yourself to feel and process your emotions is being strong. That is harder to do than to just pretend everything is fine, but it is so important to actually getting through stuff like this. You need to allow the time and space for your emotions to breathe. I don't really know what else to say here. Mental health is just so critically important. If you are dealing with the suicide of someone else, or if you are suicidal yourself, or you know someone who is, get help. There are people out there who are meant to help, and certain things are not for certain people. Counseling might not be for some people. Therapy might not be for some people. But there are different outlets. There are different things that you can do to help yourself and your mental state and to keep yourself healthy. And there's something for everyone, too. And I tried things before. I'm going to counseling right now, and I know that's not everyone's thing, but there's got to be something, even if it's just friends that you can lean on, that you can spend time with. Different things work differently for different people, but you need to take care of yourself, especially in the midst of the pandemic, when everyone's isolated, everyone's stuck at home. You can't do anything. You can't connect with the world in the same way other people, like in the same way they used to be able to. We need to take time to care for ourselves. That's the only way this is going to change. Suicides and stuff are at an all-time high, and we need to put ourselves first. And sometimes if that means putting aside school for the day, sometimes if that means for me to say, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to do my YouTube video today. Sometimes if that means I have something to do, but I'm going to go play my sport or watch a movie, those things are okay to do. It's okay to take time for yourself to enjoy things that you like to do. Especially when you are struggling, you need those moments of happiness and joy. You need to indulge in the things that you like. And so I just hope that no matter where you are, if you're on this journey like me, or if you might be feeling like you're going down this road, or a friend is going down this road, take care of yourself. And again, there's going to be links in the description to suicide hotlines and to Kids Help Phone, donations, all that sort of stuff, things that you can do to try and make a difference. The last thing I have to say in this video, guys, is reach out to people. If you are struggling, reach out. And if you're fine, reach out. Reach out to the people who you think might be struggling, because sometimes you don't know how much of a difference that can make. Texting someone to say, how are you doing, when they feel like no one loves or cares about them, could be the difference between them taking their lives and living another day. And I know it sounds cliched, but it's true. If you know your friends are struggling, even if you don't know your friends are struggling, when we're so isolated, check up on them. Make sure they're doing okay. Make sure they feel valued and loved. Have a conversation with them. And anything could really genuinely be a difference maker. And you might never know it. You might never know. Or maybe 30 years from now, they'll come to you and say, hey, remember when you texted me that time? Yeah, that saved my life. I've heard stories like that too since this has happened. I've heard stories from friends and family who said, just those one little thing changed my life. And so it can make a difference. And so reach out to people, take care of yourself. And if you are grieving, if you're going through this, if it hasn't even settled in yet, no, that's normal, because it has not hit me. It has not hit me. The emotions have not really hit me yet. And there's days when I cry, there's days when I'm sad, but there's nothing that has really fully allowed me to grasp the gravity of what's going on right now. And maybe because nothing is normal, that further impacts why nothing's really registered yet. This whole year doesn't even almost feel real yet. It's sometimes you forget there's a pandemic, and then other times it's like, holy crap, this has only been going on for 10 months. And so wherever you guys are in that, It really is normal and okay, and everyone grieves in different ways. And that's why there's people around us to help too, because anyone's emotions are valid, right? And so we need to, the first step to getting better is to accept that your emotions are valid, that what you're feeling is okay, that it's okay to be sad, upset, it's okay to be angry. I'm angry. I'm angry at a lot of things and a lot of people. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to sit there and not really know what you feel. All those things are okay. Yeah, guys, that's my video. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for those of you who watched. This is a great outlet for me, and hopefully it's something that can impact other people as well. I really, really hope that this reaches at least one other person and makes an impact or a difference. For those of you who have somehow discovered this video through YouTube search or whatever and stuck along to the end, this is not my normal content. So this might not be the channel for you. This is an extenuating circumstance. I think anyone going through this understands it's an extenuating circumstance. But I will be doing updates on this periodically, and so if that does interest you, to consider subscribing, to see when those come up, or just check back in a few months. If it's not for you, check back in a few months to see if I've posted something again. Either one of those is fine. But yeah, with that said, I appreciate those of you who've watched through this. I appreciate those of you who have stuck with me through this, not just people on YouTube, but friends who I know watch this channel sometimes. So thank you to all of you, and I'll have my regular stuff back up for you guys tomorrow.